What's up, guys? This is Idausa from the Mimic Method, and in this quick screencast, I want to show you how you can do Flow-verlapping on your own to help you practice your mimicry skills, perfect your pronunciation, and give yourself feedback. So right now I'm on the application called Audacity. It's a free application you can download online. Once you download and open it, this is the window you get, a kind of blank screen like this. And the first thing you want to do is choose a track that you want to mimic, whether it's a song lyric or just a quick soundbite of native speech, and then you want to import it. So I come here and say File, Import, Audio. Now, you should have already downloaded the audio somewhere, and then you find it on your computer and then you import it. So right now I'm going to use actually a track of speech from my Mandarin bootcamp. My Mandarin tone bootcamp that I'm testing out right now. So this is day 17 exercise. Alright, now I already have it repeated several times. I want to show you guys how to repeat it easily. And so here's a track if you listen to it real quick.
听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。
Okay, so that was just a random piece of Mandarin speech that I want to mimic and perfect my flow, perfect my pronunciation. What I can do to help myself if I'm having trouble hearing the separate phonemes, what you can do is Command A to select the entire track, then come up here to the menu and click Effect. On Effect, I want to do the effect of Change Tempo. Change Tempo, what that does is it reduces the tempo, the speed of the track without altering any other kind of variables. So right now I have the percent change of 30%, so I want to reduce the speed by 30%. I press OK. Now when I press play, it will sound like this.
听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。
So that's great. You can see the tones were the exact same as before, but he's saying it slower, which allows me to kind of really hear the phonemes and really kind of hear the tonal nuances. And that's what I'm really trying to do. Remember, mimicry is all about being as close to perfect to the sound that you possibly can and continually keep making yourself better. Okay, so here we have our track. I still have it at reduced speed, and I want to now practice the actual flow overlapping so I can compare my pronunciation to that of the native speaker. Now, the trick when you're dealing with native speech, when you're dealing with regular speech and non-musical speech, is kind of tricky to synchronize your voice with that of the native speaker. So what you can do to help yourself is you can kind of make your own kind of rhythm by repeating it and then trying several times to link up your voice with the native speakers. So the way you do that is you select a track, go to Effect, and then click Repeat, and then number of times you want to repeat. I'm just going to say 10. Bam. Now I got 10 of the exact same track. We'll listen to it real quick.
听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。 听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。 听说
Okay, so you see now there's a bit of a rhythm going on. So I'm going to use that now to flow overlap and mimic this native speaker at the exact same time he's speaking. Great, so now we have our track multiplied by 10, repeated 10 times. So now I'm going to practice flow overlapping. Maybe the first few times I'm not going to get it exactly right, exactly in sync, but that's fine because I have 10 tries in total to get it. So put in some headphones, come over here and click the record button. When you do so, it's going to automatically record on a separate track. And I want headphones in so I can hear what I'm mimicking while I do it. So let's give it a try.
听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。 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 听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。
Great, so now we have our tracks I can listen through and choose the flow overlap that was most in sync so I can really compare how my pronunciation was to the native speakers. After listening to it real quick on my own, I decided that this one was the one I was most able to get in sync. As you saw while I was recording, it's kind of hard when you're using normal speech to sync it up perfectly, which is why most of the time I do this with music, because with music, when you have a musical steady beat, a musical meter for both you and the artist to synchronize to, is a lot easier. But for now we have this, so I'm going to choose this track right here. A little extra trick for you guys. You can see right now if I delete this part, this is the track I want to line up with this one, by the way. If I delete this right here, it's going to move this track backwards, so it gets all messed up. So I'm going to undo that. What I want to do is go to tracks and sync lock tracks. What that does is now when I delete this section here, both these tracks are locked up now, so it deletes the bottom part as well. And I want to delete here at the side. Alright, zoom in on my track a little bit so I can have my workspace. So this is my recording on the bottom. These bottom two, and by the way, the reason there's two is because I'm recording in stereo, and the original person who recorded this track recorded in mono. Doesn't really matter, just in case you're wondering why there's 3 tracks here. Anyways, these bottom two are me. The top one is the native speaker. Now let's listen to the flow overlap.
听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。
Alright, good. So you can see I mimicked it pretty well right there. And if I play one at a time, so I'm mute myself. Listen just to this guy.
听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。
Now I'm gonna mute him. 听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。 Now I'm gonna play both.
听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。
And now you can see that kind of fullness I was talking about, where the track is now 2 voices, louder, more full, and that is what you're looking for. That's your positive feedback. Okay, so now I want to give you a quick example of what a clash might sound like and how you can get negative feedback. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to mimic this phrase again and get most of it right, but I'm going to intentionally mess up the tones on 2 of the syllables. And hopefully what that will show us later is a bit of a clash, which I can then interpret as negative feedback. So I have it repeated twice here just to do it real quick.
听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。
Okay, so maybe you already were able to hear the clash yourself, especially if you're already familiar with Chinese. But we'll just play it back.
听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。
Alright, so you should notice that this part, 同学, when I say
跟同学
you kind of don't hear the other person's voice anymore. It's been kind of drowned out. The unison or the assonance that I was having with the native speaker before is missing on those 2 syllables, and that's the negative feedback. And maybe I want to make it a little bit more obvious, so I can fool around with the gain, which is just kind of the amplitude. Maybe make this one a little bit quieter, this one a little bit louder. Since I was drowning out this one, I'll make this louder, and then maybe I can hear more of a clash.
听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。
Yeah, so here I can hear him say 同学. When I'm saying 同学, there's that difference is obvious because for the rest of the entire speech, we're perfectly in line. And I'll show it to you one more time.
听说他的女儿跟同学结婚了。
It takes a bit of ear training to really hear it, but that's the best part, is that through the process of doing this, you are actually actively training your ear to listen closer to these fine nuances of a language, which really make up the flow and which really will affect your ability to acquire the language quickly and efficiently. Alright, so that's it from me. Once again, it's the Dowson Ness from the MimicMethod, or mimicmethod.com. If you're interested in learning more about pronunciation, learning second languages through mimicry, sound, all that good stuff, then check out my blog. If you have any kind of comments or suggestions, please comment on this YouTube video or on the blog post which this video was originally featured. Thanks.